What is going on YouTube fitness family? IFBB Pro, Eric Jan. It just feels so good to say that, dude. IFBB Pro, Eric Janicki back here with another video. And yes, I'm officially a pro bodybuilder, so now everything I say carries 10 times more weight. So today we are doing a blind reaction to TikTok videos that my boy Phil accumulated for me. And if you guys know Phil, you should probably be equal parts excited, equal parts concerned. So without further ado, let's hop into our first video. Apparently these are all based on fitness, nutrition. So hopefully it'll be fun and funny, and hopefully I'll be able to give you guys some solid advice after watching these. So first one, I was informed to watch this I Show Speed, and I actually am doing these blind. I've never seen these, just because I'm sure most people that do these have watched them like 10 times and curated some canned response, but literally first time seeing this. So let's see what we got.
Everybody that call me nigger, my dad, my mom,
Come on,
don't leave it.
Chat, for the people, bro, it's so easy to lose weight, bro. I know there's probably people in the chat. Y'all probably like, bro, like, I want to lose this weight. Like, I want to get this weight off.
That was jarring, bro. You gotta warn me about that.
Listen to me, okay? Listen to me. This is all you have to do. Like, for the lazy people, don't yawn. What are you yawning for? For chat, for the lazy people who don't want to work out and want to lose weight, this is all you got to do.
What?
Avoid eating these food.
What's that?
Bread,
Okay.
potatoes,
All right.
fruits that has a lot of carbs in it. Peanut butter. Don't eat peanut butter.
Wait.
Don't eat banana. Don't eat any like carbs. Don't eat any food that's high in carbs.
You're a dumbass.
Literally any food. Don't eat any food that's high in carbs. Don't eat any sweets. Don't eat any cookies. Don't eat any cookies, whatever.
You just said the same thing twice,
Don't eat
dog.
none of that. That's,
What about?
no rice neither. You can't eat rice.
No rice.
Don't eat rice.
No rice.
Just avoid carbs.
All right, where do we start with this one? First of all, man, I like this guy, but Jesus, he sounds so stupid here. First of all, he said peanut butter is a carb, so that's where you probably be. The concern starts there, but you need to find, in order to lose weight, you need to find a way to achieve a caloric deficit, meaning you are burning more calories than you're consuming in a given day. This is terrible advice for a number of reasons. Number one, carbohydrates have only 4 calories per gram as compared to dietary fats. So if you're cutting out just carbohydrates, you're actually losing a good amount that could be a very high volume food for not many calories. So like fruits, for example, are a tremendous diet hack to eat in larger amounts and actually not have as many calories associated with them. So blueberries, raspberries, ones that are especially fiber dense, strawberries, you can have a good amount of them and not have that many calories. So terrible advice, eat your fruits and vegetables. It's not the way to start. Also, you shouldn't be looking at you shouldn't ever villainize a singular type of food, right? There's obviously carbohydrates that are gonna be really conducive to helping you perform better, to helping you train harder, such as obviously fruits and vegetables. Rice is a tremendous option, very lowly processed, singular ingredient. So what I would say, the only good advice he did give here is staying away from something like sweets, where you can pack in a ton of calories, but are also highly associated with dietary fats, right? So if you have a sweet, cookies, donuts, ice cream, you're gonna have the sugar, but you're also gonna have that associated with dietary fats, which are 9 calories per gram. So calories can get away from you. They're not very satiating. They have no fiber associated with them. First of all, pick a caloric intake that is going to elicit a caloric deficit. So based on your activity levels, how much you're working out, how much you walk during a day, your age, a number of factors, right? And there's a ton of calculators online you can use. And then from there, what you need to do, I think always, is just to create that protein intake. So I usually shoot for my clients anywhere between 0.6 and 1.2 grams of protein per pound of lean mass is usually what I shoot for, because if you're 300 pounds and 40% body fat, you don't really need to be feeding, you don't need 300 grams of protein. So if you can hit your caloric deficit, make sure you hit your protein mark, and you enjoy more dietary fats such as peanut butter, avocado, eggs, sausage, things like that, that could be a better option for you. But for the most part, if you're an athlete trying to train hard, something higher in carbohydrates, lower in dietary fats in order to create that that ratio there is probably gonna be my recommendation. But this is just terrible advice. This guy's skinny as hell. He's like $140, soaking wet. Has probably been skinny his whole life. Probably eats like garbage, but just stays super lean because he's probably not very food focused. He probably has a huge, metabolic capacity. He's always running around, streaming up all hours of the night. So realistically, he's probably not the role model to follow, but that was my yapathon for I Show Speed. And no, I'm not gonna race you because you'd fucking dust me.
You lost 100 pounds in 3 months.
Right.
You are like cut. You don't have like stretch marks and all that stuff. Most people lose 30 pounds and they have a bunch of marks
fat.
everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, and their chest is like falling down. How'd you do that? Is there a secret?
There is a secret. I developed a weight routine. So most people who want to lose weight, they go into this serious cardiovascular, just dropping calories.
Yeah.
But what happens is, man, you have this loose skin
Yeah.
all over your body.
Yeah.
So I invented this routine anywhere from the 100 to 500 routine. So I pick a light weight and I smoke out. So let's say it's bench press. You want to pick something that you can do over 100 times without stopping. And if you do stop, so your rest position is the up position. You don't rest it, you don't rack it, you rest up, and you can only rest for 10 seconds. It literally was burning so much muscle. Like my muscle was just getting fatigued, the lactic acid, and it kind of kept that muscle nice and tight.
Where do I even begin with this one, man? This one's really brutal, dude. I don't even know. I could probably go off on a whole YouTube video about this singular video. Simple fact of if you lose a lot of weight and sure, implementing strength training, great advice. The way he's telling you to do it, dog shit advice. This whole 500 rep bullshit, I don't know what he's getting at. He's talking about lactic acid buildup, so as long as it's burning, that's a good thing. We have so much research to say that, like, sure, it's not terrible to get a pump when you're training, but it shouldn't be the first thing that you are trying to achieve is chasing a pump. Something called mechanical tension is going to be the main driver of either maintaining or building as much muscle as possible. And that's really by having really good form and training within proximity to failure. And actually driving enough stimulus to induce growth. And sometimes that's actually not even associated very highly with soreness, which is more associated with damage, or metabolic tension or metabolic stress, which is what you'd think of as pumps. So really that's not good advice, but let's get into the why he doesn't have, when he dieted down, why he didn't have a bunch of loose skin. Number one, David Goggins did that when he was like in his 20s, right? When you are in your 20s and you lose a lot of weight, your body is has the ability to adapt much more proficiently than, let's say, you lose that same amount of weight when you're 40. You're gonna have a ton of skin. And don't think that if you, like most people have loose skin around their chest and their midsection. Do you think you're building your abs enough, like doing enough fucking weighted crunches that you're gonna build out enough that you're going to have basically fill that void where all that loose skin is? No, absolutely not. What's gonna happen is you can build a little bit of muscle, maybe in your chest and shoulders and arms, and that can help with the loose skin in those areas. But realistically, your core is not gonna build out, right? Or your lower back if you train your, spinal erectors, things like that, deadlifts. It's never happened. Go look up any bodybuilder. Like, it's not a good thing if you have a crazy amount of distension that's obviously going to fill that void in terms of where that loose skin is. That's more due to, HGH use, insulin, digestive issues. So not a good thing. So for him to sit here and say that his crazy 500 rep strength training program is gonna help you when you lose weight to not have loose skin is complete. It's complete bullshit. Realistically, there are products that can help with skin tightening. There's also lasers, there's microneedling, there's a lot of other things that can be helpful. But at the end of the day, if you're losing that much weight and you're above a certain age, it's just harder for your body to snap back and not have that loose skin, and you might have to get the surgery if you don't like that look of that skin. I mean, at the end of the day, think about, when you're 60, 70 years old, you have loose skin regardless if you're ever overweight. So the idea that you're gonna be able to snap back and have the super tight skin when you're 50 years old and you lose 100 pounds is not realistic, and you might have to obviously get the surgery in order to achieve the look that you want, which I will throw out there is extremely brutal. It is very, very costly. It is very, very, has a long recovery period. Usually you have to do the front, then the back, and if you wanna do your sides, all these are separate surgeries. They can't do them all at once, because if you do the front, they basically want you to be able to still like sit up, or like basically not be, if you go front and back, you literally can't move. So essentially you have to do them in order. There's so much inflammation that comes with it, from a huge recovery time. My recommendation is do not listen to this. What I would say is progressively lose weight. The faster you lose weight, obviously, the more these effects are gonna compound, because your body has less time to adapt. And it's just better for you long-term, right? The faster you're losing weight means you're cutting into a humongous deficit, especially using these latest GLP drugs that kill appetite. You eat 500 calories a day. You are going to dump muscle off your frame as you lose body fat. And so your metabolic capacity is gonna decrease. You're going to obviously maybe have hormonal side effects as well. So slow and steady wins a race. Pound, half a pound a week. Unless you're like, 50% body fat, you can probably stretch towards 2 to 3 pounds a week in that initial phase. But beyond that, the recommendation for me is maintain as much muscle as possible as you come down. Keep your protein intake high. Don't go for a deficit that's more than, let's say, 500 to 600 calories a day. You're gonna feel better, you're gonna perform better. It's gonna be more sustainable long-term, so.
There's nothing in this world that will remove fat off of your body faster than cold water, and especially if it's ice. Water is 29 times more thermogenic than air. Sitting in here for 3 minutes will remove 1,600 calories off of my body, bring up my testosterone levels by 700%, and speed up my metabolism by 350%. Now let's get in and shed some fat.
Bro, I feel like he's rage baiting us sometimes. I wonder if he believes half the stuff that comes out of his mouth. But all right, guys, let's get through this whole cold exposure and burning fat thing. So basically, when you get into extreme cold or ice plunge, or doing something for, let's say, 5-10 minutes, essentially it mobilizes something called brown fat, which is highly associated with creating heat, and so it's more activated during a session of cold exposure. And what they found is, in a study, is really the max benefit you're gonna get is an extra 200 to 300 calories burned per day. So this whole, I don't even know, what percentage did you say? 1,600 calories. That is just absolutely obtuse. There's just no way that you'd basically just have to be in just cold all day long, and you'd probably just get hypothermia. So essentially, if you do, let's say, 5-10 minutes of cold exposure, we're talking like real cold exposure, 35 to 42 degrees. Really what they found is you're gonna get an extra like 200 calorie benefit, which it doesn't hurt, right? If you have time to do it, but you could spend that same 10 minutes doing, an incline walk or something else and probably elicit a similar result. So at the end of the day, it's not gonna be like some miracle for you that's going to start burning fat off at an immense clip. And you have to think, how little is 200 calories when it comes to eating, right? You can eat 200 calories like that. So at the end of the day, if you're really trying to lose weight, focus more on nutrition, step count, overall activity, sleep quality. These things are going to be more helpful to you in terms of actually creating a sustainable modality for you to lose weight, as opposed to jumping in some cold water and hoping for some miracle like this guy is saying that's gonna happen, that you're just gonna start melting fat off. So this is not proven, like this whole thing he's saying is not proven science. Science has really shown that it's very minimal. Obviously there's anti-inflammatory benefits outside of weight loss. So if you do cold exposure, obviously we can reduce inflammation. That's pretty much the only other benefit. So don't stop doing it if you're doing it, but don't think this shit's gonna happen if you start doing it.
Once you start eating onions is when your life will start changing for the better.
I like onions, but not like that, bro. It's just him just eating onions for the rest. I'm gonna watch it all the way through just because I'm curious if something else happens. Fast forward. All right, I think I'm good. All right, so there's really never been any singular food that has been proven to boost testosterone. So onions, there's just nothing to say that eating onions, especially raw like this, will probably just like, I'm sure I know there's some health benefits to like garlic. I've never heard it about onions. I would say this is just like F tier advice, and also just sitting there eating it raw is pretty disgusting. I think you probably get some type of like GI distress from that type of volume eating of just raw onions. I could be wrong, but I think it make you smell like garbage. You'd probably be sweating it out at the gym later on that day. So F tier advice for me. It's definitely not going to boost your fucking testosterone. Start lifting weights, sleeping more, having a balanced diet, healthy fats, and ashwagandha, other health supplements that can help actually boost testosterone. These are going to be what you should lean into, and not fucking eating raw onions whole. That's absolutely diabolical. All right, next.
I actually stopped running testosterone completely.
Oh, really?
I took it out completely, yeah. I was doing a lot of research into golden era bodybuilding and what they ran, and I found out they didn't run.
They're so full of shit. That's why they all say they're on literally Deca only cycles. What does he say, Arnold? Let's hear.
Run testosterone in the 70s and 80s. They did. It was very little, and they seen it as a dirty steroid because of the hair loss, acne, bloating. Mm-hmm. So most of them either ran Deca as a base or D-ball, and I've tried Deca only.
How do you feel?
Amazing. And no hair loss. Like some guys regrow hair on it because DECA doesn't convert to DHT. It converts to a weaker androgen called DHN, which is extremely like hair protective. Everything, libido's high, erections, sex drive's high, and I feel really relaxed and nice. Like I almost feel too nice. Like nothing bothers me. No AI, no K-verb, antiprolactin. It converts to 20% the amount of testosterone does. So you're getting estrogen with it. It's just a lower amount. And DECA was a compound I hated because I used to run it with testosterone.
And your prolactin will increase.
Super high prolactin.
Yo, this is like probably, I mean, I know that a lot of you guys are not enhanced, or maybe most of you guys maybe are that are watching this channel, but man, oh man, talk about the worst advice. I think DECA only cycles are some of like the worst that you could think of, or even like, what do you say, DECA and D-ball? So you're talking about a 19 NOR paired with an oral, a very severe oral, and you're going to say that you're not going to side effects. You're going to not be able to have an erection. You are going to have obviously liver and kidney, downstream from like banging orals like D-ball. You're going to be fucking water buffalo because of both compounds. This is like the worst advice. Please do not do this. Please, please, please. First of all, if you are not running PEDs, I would highly recommend really considering it. They have fertility outcomes later on, obviously acute side effects when it comes to hair loss, like you said, aggression. So I'm not saying I'm conducing this or being, condoning the use of PEDs, but what I'm saying is there's a smart way and a not smart way to do this. And also do not listen to these guys of what they took in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Like, they are all full of shit, because at the end of the day, do you think it makes you look better if you're on more stuff or less stuff? If you're on less stuff, or you tell people you are, it makes it look like your training was more effective, makes it look like you're more of a badass, you were more locked in with your nutrition, your genetics were better, and it makes the guys today look like, oh, they're a pharmacy, right? So obviously they have every incentive in the book to say they didn't do that. And it was so far in the past that like it would be very hard for somebody to call them out on it. But there's been so many, who was the other one? Tom Platz was classic for this. Arnold. I mean, we can't even blame Arnold. Like, he's a politician, huge figure, Hollywood producer. Like, think about if he came out and was like, yeah, I was blasting Trent and whatever I get my hands on. That's a very bad look for him. It's a very bad look for the industry. So I can't really blame Arnold for lying about it, because at the end of the day, he's kind of put between a rock and a hard place. But for some of these guys, do not put credence to this. I would highly suggest using, very, very high quality test base for any type of cycle, whether it's bulking or cutting. And then I'm a very big DHT guy, a master on Primo, low side effect, low conversion, keeps estrogen in check, very low liver and kidney. And that's basically what I've kind of built my physique around, is that type of protocol. Very low, that's why you see, people look at me like, oh dude, you look so healthy. It's because I don't run a lot of these extremely harsh compounds. I really have basically stayed away from orals for the last 2 years. I think that's what you guys should really start thinking about is, first of all, if you're gonna do it, be advised. Second of all, do it in a way that's going to be the least side effect ridden. And I think trying to stay away from testosterone, especially in moderate to low dosing, is a stupid recommendation. I think it should be a kind of a basis for any type of cycle, bioidentical testosterone for males specifically. So
Let me give you guys a success
more
hack.
Zule.
You guys know that between the hours of 8 p.m. to 12 a.m., any hour that you sleep counts like 2 hours of sleep. If you sleep at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., you'll automatically wake up recharged at about 3 a.m. and you'll be ready to go. Then rich people, what they do is they'll have power naps. They'll take a power nap between 6 minutes to 30 minutes. And the reason is, after a power nap, when you wake up in something called alpha state. Alpha state means that your mind is still partially asleep and you don't have any positive suggestions or negative suggestions. So anything you read, you will retain because the mind doesn't fight the information that it's trying to receive. Now, if you sleep over 30 minutes, you want to do 90 minutes or else you're going to wake up groggy. There's people like Salvador Dali, if you guys know who that is, a famous painter.
Do you know, I had a scary thought that if I had a power nap and then I woke up and the first thing I watched was this reel and I didn't have an ability to fight it positively or negatively and I just absorbed it, how fucking terrifying of a proposition is that in my like alpha state if I consumed this reel and just like had it as gospel because my brain's not fighting it in my alpha state? Dude, I literally think that all famous people or all rich people only slept from 8 to 12, took power naps. Salvador Dali, we'll see what he's about to do, but let's see what Salvador Dali's got.
Well, he would go to sleep, but he would hold in his hand keys, metal keys, and he'll put metal plates all around the seat. So when he falls asleep, the keys will fall out of his hands, and when they do, they wake him up. He said, I would go to somewhere called the quantum realm, grab ideas.
Realm? Dude, it's so crazy because you know he's like taking this content from who knows where that he can't even pronounce and just regurgitating it. So he saw this somewhere, like this, just like he read this in some like pamphlet or on like in like the side of a train or something, and he just like is like regurgitating it on social media and can't even pronounce the word. So let's see what this quantum realm is here.
When I wake up in alpha state with a ton of ideas in my mind, and that's how he brought these arts into life. So if you guys want to have a good, successful life, make sure to sleep these hours, get away from the whole world, and do things right, and I promise you will be successful.
Dude, I'm just gonna start going to sleep with a bunch of syringes around my like bed, around this chair, and then just like fucking tren in each hand. So when I wake up, I'll like fucking drop the tren and it'll just fucking be in the syringes and I'll be in alpha state. But yeah, no, this is insane stuff, man. It's just so good and you can't even make it up. That's what I would say, like you just can't even make it up because I don't think I could. I don't think if you were like, hey, Eric, I want you to think about the most ridiculous Benazule concept he could come up with. And like, then he trumps that. I feel like I would say something and then I would watch something he produced and be like, wow, like that's crazier than like the crazy thing that I just came up with. So yeah, man, it's just a gift that keeps on giving. So thank you for that. But yeah, that's gonna wrap this TikTok nutrition and training advice. I don't even know what to call this video, but reaction. But I hope you guys found it entertaining. If you guys want some real good stuff here, we got the Janicki juice pre is now live. So if you guys want highly dosed, amazing flavor, then get this. It's a very minimal ingredient. I wanted to pack it with as much actual ingredients as I could and not with fluff. So check it out. It's very reasonably priced, tastes delicious. You will have an immense workout on it. And you could literally say you got Janicki juiced, which is freaking incredible. So link will be down in the description. I love you guys, appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next video.